Happy Halloween, and thank you for tuning into the Unlockable Podcast, episode 31. Our annual Halloween special episode just so happens to be number 31, which is pretty cool. Today, Hannah and myself will be covering the history of Boo, his interesting creation, and literally every game this fat ghost has ever been in. Boo has had a crazy amount of jobs and is a freaking athlete, let me tell you. Not to mention a professional kart racer. I hope you all have a fantastic Halloween and enjoy this episode. Please make sure to leave us a 5 stars wherever you're listening to this, and make sure to join the Discord because it's literally free. I mean, I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't join the Discord. Like, what? Anyway, let's do it. Welcome back to the Unlockable Podcast. As always, I'm Christian and joined today by the incredible Game Girl Advance SP.
Howdy.
Hannah, I said today as if you're not always a part of the podcast, but thanks for being with me for 31 episodes.
Yeah, man. Thanks for putting up with me for 31 episodes.
It is almost Halloween. It's finally getting a little chilly out here. I am in a fantastic mood, and I'm ready to record a fantastic Halloween special.
Let's go.
How's it going?
Pretty good. It is also very cool here. I'm able to keep my windows open all day long, not have to turn the AC on, which is fantastic. Been looking forward to that all year, because it's been 100 degrees outside. But yeah, feels good.
Yeah, I was at a Halloween party last night, sitting around a freaking fire. I don't know.
A
it
fire?
was so great. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, feeling good out here in Texas. Definitely the best time of the year. October, November, December. I love it.
Agreed. Do your leaves change color over there?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, envious.
You don't get that?
We do a little bit, but not really.
I guess it's not as much as other places, but we do get that.
Yeah.
Hannah, are you doing anything for Halloween tomorrow? Are you going to do any trick-or-treating through your apartment complex?
Absolutely not. I have a test tomorrow in my class, which is really nice. I swear the professors do that every year just to spite us. Especially the kids who, come over with hangovers and they're like, oh my god, I hate my life. They do it on purpose, I swear. But no, I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'll be studying for my exams.
Well, I hope that you have a lot of candy throughout the day. I'm not doing anything. I'll probably watch a scary movie and just hang out around the house. I do have to work, of course, but that's about it. It's going to be a chill Halloween. I've been definitely trying to get in the mood throughout the month, though. Like, I watched that movie Smile earlier this month. I don't know if you saw that.
No, thank you. Absolutely not.
I forgot you're not into horror stuff. That was pretty good. I liked it. No nightmares, thankfully.
Not yet.
I played myself a little spooky game. Not actually spooky, but I played Grabbed by the Ghoulies, a Rareware beat 'em up game for the Xbox. It was alright. I would probably say you could skip it, but it was alright.
Dang. That sounds like a spooky game I would play, because it doesn't seem scary definitely. At all.
Yeah, lighthearted for sure. I'm also playing, I guess we'll get into the been buying and playing. I've been playing Resident Evil 7 with my freaking roommates, right? So they like to watch me play scary games, and it's horrible for me. My heart is pounding the whole time. But, man, I was trying to find something like Outlast, which is terrifying, and Resident Evil 7 online is like the next best thing, and yeah, it has not disappointed. It's pretty freaking terrifying.
Absolutely not.
What have you been playing lately?
RuneScape. No,
Nice.
I've been dabbling in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, even though did I tell you guys I beat it? I beat it not that long ago. I loved it. I loved the ending. I really want to play it all over again in New Game Plus, but I know that's going to set me back at least another 100 hours. So I want to play Persona 5, which just came in the mail. which is one thing that I've been buying. Or Nier, which I've had for a long time. I thought I'd get into it, but I'm on like RPG burnout right now. I can't commit to another like 60-hour game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Super close to my level 99 in RuneScape though, which is just the greatest accomplishment ever. I'm at 97, which is like 75% of the way there. Woo!
You know, you told me you were almost at 100 like 2 months ago. I figured you'd be there by now.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if it's 92 or 93, but one of those is halfway through. So
someone listening understands what the heck you're talking about.
Okay, well, hold on. It's a very easy RPG mechanic to understand. So there's all these skills, right? And 99 just happens to be the level cap of this one. But like, you know, as you experience up, the difference between level 1 and level 2 is like 50 experience points, where it like increases exponentially over time. So when you get to like where I am right now, the difference between each level is like 1 million experience. So the time it takes you to complete it is like exponentially larger than the lower levels. Does that make sense?
I'm with you. It's like hitting level 40 in Pokemon Go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
And I'm sure no one understood that reference.
Yeah. Nerd.
Talking about outdated games here on the Unlockable Podcast.
Hey, I still play Pokemon Go. I should put that every time.
Day.
Every time, every episode. Yeah, what are you playing? Pokemon Go. Have you seen the cool Halloween ambiance that they have going? Super cool.
Yeah, drop a comment if you're still playing Pokemon Go.
Heck yeah.
What else you playing?
That's been pretty much it. I'm trying to focus a little more on school since I'm almost done. Got to get them good grades for them interviews and, want to look good.
Completely understand. I'm still grinding out 2 Point Campus and loving every minute of it. I can't recommend that game enough, but I am on the final campus, and I probably got like 2 or 3 hours left in that game before I have 100%ed it. Love it so much.
Wow. Have you ever 100%ed a game before?
Probably not. Overcooked 1, actually. It just hit me, yeah.
You got 3 stars in Overcooked 1?
Uh-huh.
Wow. That is some dedication, because Overcooked 1 is a lot harder than the second one.
Yeah, and they have 4 stars in Overcooked 2, which reminds me, that's another thing I've been playing, but now that I have a roommate as well as my girlfriend who is pretty good at the game, like, we can sit down, the 3 of us, and get 4 stars on these levels. It's starting to take like an hour per level, but it's a freaking blast. Those games are amazing.
Ooh, speaking of, we should probably add this to, well, I don't know, I might have already said this, but speaking of, it's by the same developer, Moving Out. I've talked about the game before, but they're making a second one.
Oh, heck yeah. I think we talked about that.
I love that game. It just reminded me, I love that game. It's so much fun. It's difficult. It's really, really difficult. But it's one of those games that me and my friends can play, even though they're not like, super gamers or anything like that. They're very casual. Love those games.
I'll
I want more like
be picking that up.
Me too. Day 1, let's go.
Friday, Call of Duty came out, and my roommate and I got that. Been playing that for more hours than I should be. And Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, still playing through that a little bit here and there.
Man, you're on your quest to beat all of the Castlevania games?
Just all the games in the world, really.
Wow. That would be awesome. Even like really, really awful games?
No, I'm just messing around. Aside from Persona, have you purchased anything?
Yes, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have written it down, and I didn't. Oh, no, I bought Kiwi. Have you ever heard of that game with the cute little, like, bird-like creatures? No, on Switch.
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing that on sale a lot.
It was like $8, and it's a multiplayer game, so I thought, why not? Me and my friends will play that. But yeah, that's $8. How could you not buy a Switch game? If anything, it's a free case, right?
We say that every month. It was $9. How could I not buy it?
I have a problem, all right? It's an addiction.
Yeah, that game, I was like, I saw the guys that post the deals like Wario64 on Twitter, I was looking at the replies and lots of people were like complimenting the game, saying it's pretty good. So I'm sure that's a good one.
Me and you looked at the same post because that's the only reason why I bought it.
Okay, so I got some exciting stuff in the last month and a half. I just bought Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition, complete in box for the freaking N64.
I saw that. So shiny.
Yeah, what the heck? It's like, I didn't no idea that box was that shiny. It's very nice.
It's very, very, very pretty. I'm so jealous.
I got a TurboGrafx 16 console finally. Yeah, that's just a money pit, really. I'm sure every game I buy for that stupid console is going to be triple digits, so I'll be acquiring games for that console very slowly, to say the least.
You better start saving up now. Maybe you'll have enough by the time you retire.
I got, in the vein of Halloween, I got this game on PS1 called Swagman. Did you see that on Instagram?
I did. What? How creepy of a cover art, man.
Good gracious. Everyone Google Swagman on PS1 and Sega Saturn. It was absolutely terrifying.
I've never even heard of that game.
I know, right? I heard it's pretty good, though, from Instagram comments, so we'll see. And, of course, I'm still buying GameCube games. I just passed the 400 mark, and I just recently got Ocarina of Time Master Quest. That was the latest one I picked up.
Very nice, very nice.
I don't know why that one's not like $200. Like, that just seems like a game that would be very expensive, and it's just not. It's like $60.
Yeah, that's the game I picked up the first time I went to, well, the only time I've been to Classic Game Fest. That one time.
Oh, yeah.
It was super crispy, and it was in like a, I don't know, one of those like protector, not a case, but like a protector bag thingy, or sleeve, I guess would be appropriate. Super crispy.
I bet it hasn't even gone up much since then, and that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think I paid $50 for it, so it's about
crazy.
the same.
Yeah, that's it for the been buying, been playing for me. Let's get into some news. Have you heard about all this Bayonetta drama?
I have. It's been literally all over YouTube, and I don't even know if the story has completely unfolded yet. I think there's still things coming out about it. But, yeah, I've heard about it, but I don't know about it, like, intimately.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been paying attention to all the details, but there's been, at first it was like, oh, yeah, boycott this game, and everybody was on that train, and now it's like, well, seems like she's lying, so who knows what the true story is. I think at the end of the day, a lot more people bought the game because of this drama, and that is definitely not in her favor.
Yeah, that's true. Could we say that it wasn't just a marketing ploy to begin with? Who knows?
Yeah, I've seen that theory too. That would be pretty sick, honestly.
I mean, it must have worked.
Other thing I wanted to mention, Silent Hill 2 is getting a remake. I've never played a Silent Hill game. I know Hannah hasn't, or ever will.
No, because I watched the movie when I was younger with my parents, and it scared the living bejesus out of me. It still frightens me.
This is where the fear comes from for everything in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't watch it just once. We watched it like 3 different times within the span of a month, so my nightmares were just constant.
I've never watched any movie 3 times in the span of a month.
Yeah, I think it was around the Halloween time, so all the the networks and whatnot, when we actually still paid for cable, this was a long time ago, it was like, let's play all these scary-ass movies. And my parents and my brother like them. I mean, they're not, like, super horror fans, but they're like, yeah, we're getting in the mood for Halloween, and I was freaking terrified.
Well, congratulations to the Konami freaking people that are so excited for this game. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I hope they don't drop the ball on it, because you guys deserve it. You've been waiting for so long.
Yeah, go you guys.
What do you have for news?
Alright, so besides the Bayonetta drama, which I know nothing about, Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack has, I guess, reaffirmed their schedule, kind of. So Pilot Wings arrived on October 13th, which means it's already out by the time of this recording. Mario Party 1 and 2 will arrive on November 2nd. which is super exciting because they have online play. Woohoo! And then they reaffirmed that GoldenEye is, quote, coming soon. But the Switch version will have online play, which gets me really excited. I'm about to freaking shoot up some people. Which, don't take that out of context. And then down the road, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excite Bike 64 are still slated to come out sometime in 2023, so get excited. Then, the other thing I have is a trailer for the Super Mario movie dropped. What did you think about it? Did you even watch it?
Oh, yeah. I can't believe it's been that long. Like, that feels like it was so long ago, but overall, Chris Pratt sounds like Chris Pratt. You know, I just feel like the same way the rest of the internet does. Like, it's fine. Like, talking about it's a kids movie, and Illumination makes amazing kids movies, and it's gonna be an amazing kids movie. Like, there's no doubt about that. No one is going to see that movie praying that it's like some incredible plot line. Like, it's, as long as everything looks good, sounds good, I will appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I was not blown away by his voice because he just sounds exactly like he does. I just wish that they had gone with more voice actor-ish people, but then I have to think that Jack Black is not really a voice actor, but he was the panda Po in Kung Fu Panda, and he freaking killed that role. So is he a voice actor, or is like, you know, a regular actor? I don't know, but he killed it as Bowser. That's all I gotta say. He freaking killed it. I'm excited for it, though. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Minions, but the movie itself looks beautiful. I mean, did you see the poster? How many details and like Easter eggs there were in it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The movie looks gorgeous, and I think it's gonna be funny. You know, I'm sure I'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go see it. Maybe not day one, but definitely gonna see it. How could I not?
Absolutely.
But that's all I got for the news.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. 17 minutes in, let's freaking do it. The making of Boo is what this episode is about. We're gonna go over our boy Boo, girl, it. We don't even know. We don't know. Maybe there are male and female Boos. It is unclear, to say the least. But Boo is cool as heck, and I think this was your idea. And yeah, this is our Halloween special for you guys. We're gonna talk all about the fat white blob that is Boo. And
you keep saying fat. I think it's just puffy. You said that in the intro too. I was like, he's not fat, he's just puffy.
We're gonna kick this off by saying the Mario fandom, wiki, Mario wiki, all those pages that are out there with the awful ads, they have been vital to this episode. They have been very helpful. There's like a freaking site. There's a specific page that has every time Boo has appeared in a video game, and it's freaking great. So big shout out to them. We're gonna take a lot of information from them. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. But yeah, we definitely took a lot of information from them, but we're gonna make it a little more exciting instead of just reading it off a wiki page, because who wants to do that?
What the heck is Boo? Everyone who has ever played any Mario game knows what Boo is. Boo's a fat, puffy,
no,
white ghost enemy in the Mario franchise. They're often depicted with humongous tongues for whatever reason. When Mario looks at Boo, it freezes in its tracks and hides its face, and when he looks away, it starts chasing him. So everyone should know that. I can't imagine anyone is watching this and hasn't played Mario 3, like literally any Mario game. But what I didn't know, and I think is super interesting, is the character is created by Takashi Tezuka, who has made a buttload of Mario games. Not games, like he's designed a lot of characters throughout the Mario franchise, and he's done a lot of work on Zelda, Pikmin, Star Fox, etc. which that's not like the fun fact. The fun fact is, in an interview for Nintendo Power magazine, Shigeru Miyamoto said Mr. Tezuka got an idea about getting his wife in the game. His wife is very quiet usually, but one day she exploded, maddened by all the time he spent at work. In the game, there is now a character who shrinks when Mario looks at it, but when Mario turns away, it will grow large and menacing.
That's just so funny.
The game he's referencing is, of course, Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah,
I bet his
what a
wife
crazy...
was mad.
Like, I wonder if she was a large woman, and that's why Boo is large.
I don't think so. I think it was just easier to draw a circle than it was anything else.
Yeah, so like on the topic of Boo being puffy, Wikipedia says that Boo resembles both the Will-o'-the-Wisp phenomenon and the Japanese Hitodama. Will-o'-the-Wisp, I've heard of it from like Pokemon and stuff, but it's like from English folklore, and it refers to the ghost-like light that shines over swamps or marshes at nighttime. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure that's like a key move that Vulpix can learn in Pokemon.
Yeah. I think you're right. That's how I know of that term, for sure.
And Hitodama is from Japanese folklore and is the appearance of a soul that has left a body. The picture that was on Wikipedia was like a circle, and it was, I could see how that could resemble Boo. Will-o'-the-Wisp, I don't know about that one.
So you're saying that Boos are like the ghosts of the Koopas and the Troopas and whatnot that we kill?
I didn't say that.
Is that what you're saying? Well, they're ghosts of dead beings, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, makes sense to me.
That's kind of dark, but it's fitting for the month of October.
Spooky.
And the last thing I have to mention here, Boo is voiced by Sanae Suzaki in most games, and also Charles Martinet, who obviously has voiced Mario, Luigi, a bunch of Mario characters. That is before he was replaced by Chris Pratt, of course. But anyways, do you have anything to add to that?
I actually didn't know that he was voiced by Charles, or she, he, it, them, whatever was voiced by Charles. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, same.
I do have some fun facts. So, they were originally called Boo Diddlies, and later Boo Buddies, and mistranslated into Big Boos, into a lot of English titles, which is something that we'll talk about a lot. But in reference to Boo Diddlies, which was their original name, they were thought to have been a play on the name of a famous American guitarist, Bo Diddley, who was widely influential in the blues and rock and roll era of music. So they're like, let's name him after this really famous guy. I wonder if he knew that. Do you think he knew that?
I don't know. You know what? I bet he did. I'm sure someone was playing Mario 3 and opened the manual and was like, "Yo,
that's me." It's like, it looks nothing like me, but thanks. So in Japanese, the name for Boo is Teresa, which is coming from the name Tereya, which means a very shy person. So that's fun. So it's not Teresa, as people sometimes say. I was looking up a lot of histories of Boo, just, to make this episode interesting if they knew something that we didn't. And so many of them said that Boo's name in Japanese was Teresa. I was like, that is so wrong.
I so read funny. That, and I thought it was Teresa, so I'm glad you're here, Hannah.
See? This is just funny. It was funny to me, but in German, Boo's name is Boo-hoo.
Oh,
spelled
heck yeah.
Buuhuu, which just means boo-hoo in English, which I thought was just funny. Look, it's a boo-hoo. And then I also wrote down the Miyamoto fact about his friend's wife, which I just think is hilarious. I bet she was so angry. She's like, you put the idea of me into a game. And now it's like a character that's been in so many freaking games.
Right.
And then another fun fact I have, because a lot of obscure... I'm not saying that Boo's obscure, but the Mumbies, which are round mummy-like looking balls from the Kirby series, act almost identical to the way that the Boos act. And when I was looking this up, I was like, oh, what are the Mumbies? They actually show up in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. They're the circular Boo-like ghost enemies, but they're covered in like mummy wrappings and stuff, and they have big, giant, glowing red eye. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I just looked it up. Yeah, I remember.
And they like laser focus on you, but then when you turn around and look at them, they like cower away.
Right.
So they use the same idea in the Kirby series, which happens a lot, all the frickin' time. They're like, oh yeah, it's very similar to how this one acts. But yeah, that's all I got for facts.
Heck yeah, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoos! Boo-hoos! I'm sure in German it sounds a lot different.
Yeah, the history of boo-hoo. Here we go. Alright, so our boy or girl or it, Boo, first appeared in Super Mario Bros. 3, known as Boo Diddley, as Hannah mentioned. But yeah, ever since Mario 3, they've been referenced as just Boo. The manual describes Boo as too shy to look anyone in the face, but when you turn around, ... I love it. Boo could be found in the fortress or like castle levels of Mario 3. Their role was pretty minor in the game, and they would end up getting a much more prominent role in Super Mario World. If you don't have anything to add, we can start breaking down each series Boo has appeared in over the years.
Oh, I have a little bit more to add. So they're found in World 2. They hide their faces, obviously, when you look at them. And the Wikipedia also said, which I thought was really interesting, that they chase Mario faster in this game than they do in any game after that. So it's like,
oh, wow.
Nintendo nerfed the Boos in later games. They're like, these guys are way too fast. They're way too terrifying. And then Boos could not be defeated unless the player is equipped with the hammer suit, which is the suit that you wear and they throw hammers, a Koopa shell, or if you have a superstar equipped. So that's interesting. Also, there are another variant of Boos called a stretch or stretches. And these Boos are attached to like the platforms by their body, so it's basically like they swallow the platform, right? They are the platform. And they can move freely around the platform, so the top, side, bottom, whatever. If Mario or Luigi tries to pass a stretch on a platform, it rises from the top and bottom of its platform and tries to hit Mario or Luigi, whoever you're playing as, by moving left to right. And they're dangerous. Again, stretches can be defeated only by having a superstar or hammers thrown by Hammer Mario. And I thought that this was the only game that they're in, but it's not. Talk about that later. But they're called stretches. They got more creative with their names, I promise, as time went on.
Yeah, so what I love is, like, you can seriously dig so far into the lore of, like, Mario games, and, like, probably a lot of games that have as many games as the Mario series, but, like, we're going to talk a lot about species, and there are so many different Boo species, and it's hilarious because, you know, you think, like, this isn't real, nobody cares about this, but there are pages with in-depth details citing, like, this game on this level, you know, you could find this species of Boo, and it's like, I love this crap, I think it's hilarious and, like, super interesting.
Agreed.
But what is the name? Stretch. Stretch is one of the many species that we're going to be talking about today. By no means will we be covering them all, but we will cover a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, while researching this, I had some of the enemies I had remembered in my mind. It never crossed my mind that they were part of the Boo species, but they are. Like you said, the lore is so extensive, it's crazy.
Right. And I'm sure there's, like, some discrepancies if you went to different sites, because at the end of the day, we're classifying them as species of Boo. You know, we're, as the player, putting them under this umbrella. But I'm sure, like, like some random book on a shelf in the 1,000-Year Door is like, oh, did you know about stretches from Mario 3? They're actually Boos. Like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But
somebody did some serious research.
Alright, so we're going to break it down. We're going to go through every single game Boo has appeared in. And we're going to start with the Super Mario series, and we're going to go through those chronologically. So first up here is Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. So let me get my notes together here, make sure I'm all organized. Alright, Super Mario World. So in the manual, you may remember the Boo Buddies from Super Mario 3. This time there's a whole horde of them, and amongst them there's a huge spook called the Big Boo. But don't worry, if you look at them, they act shy and turn away. Cute, aren't they? But watch it. ... They're dangerous. I think it's interesting that they said Boo Buddies here because it was Boo Diddley previously. And I also think it's interesting that Boo Buddies is capitalized. So I don't know what they're going for there. But I think Boo Buddies refers to the double... Well, you know what? No, that's not it at all. I don't know. I don't know what Boo Buddies refers to. I think that's just what they're calling Boo in this game. Obviously, they weren't anticipating like an entire database with a family tree of Boos being made in 2022, so they weren't really too focused on the naming convention in 1991, but...
No, not at all.
Yeah, 1990 actually. But anyways, the Boos in Super Mario World, they run these haunted houses, which were honestly fun little additions to the Mario franchise. They're challenging, they're puzzling. You always have to think about the, like there's always multiple exits in these, and you always have to figure out, like, okay, this is what I would normally do. Let me do the opposite. You know, they always have your brain working like that. This kind of, like, starts to establish the personality of the Boo species as, like, mischievous and playful. There's a bunch of different Boos and other ghosts you have to take on in these houses. The one that I remember distinctly is the very first haunted house, where it's literally like thousands of Boos just coming, like they're all at the top of the first Boo house, and they're like half visible, they're like transparent, and they'll swoop down and become non-transparent and try to attack Mario, and it's like... It gives you anxiety, honestly. And you're like trying not to jump too high. It's pretty cool.
And that's where my anxiety started.
Some Boos throughout the game will like freeze and you have to jump on them. Like they become like solid rocks that you can jump on, which was a cool little mechanic. Yeah. That's pretty much it for Super Mario World. These were definitely awesome levels, and every time you beat one you could save, so that was fun.
Wow, that is nice. How convenient.
Following up 1990 Super Mario World, we had Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. I'm sorry, did you want to add anything to that?
Nope.
Okay. There's not a lot to say about Mario Land 2. Boos are enemies throughout the pumpkin zone of the game. They are just your typical Boos that do what Boos do. You look at them and they stop, and you look away and they come for you. So yeah. I will say that they do come out of the freaking tombstones in the pumpkin zone, which is a little eerie. Definitely wouldn't happen today, but it does support what you were saying earlier about the dead Koopas or whatever.
See? And the dead Goombas.
If the Game Boy had a few more pixels, you could read who was on those tombstones, but...
Here lies our favorite Goomba. He was a loyal Goomba.
Tell us about Mario 64.
Okay, so I will say that this is my first experience with the Boos, and I think they are the most terrifying in this game. Like, they're so cute and, like, you know, cartoony in the other ones, but these ones are like polygonal nightmares. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're all sharp because spheres couldn't exist on the N64.
So they're much larger than Mario is in the game, and their faces are much more, like, I don't know, defined and prominent. Like I said, polygonal. They're very pointy. They have huge, big, like, black and blue oval eyes with, like, some sick lighter blue eyeliner and eyeshadow. I don't know, maybe it's Maybelline. And their mouth is so deeply disturbing. It's like in such a freaking sharp V, and you can see like the depth of the mouth. There's like a huge giant black hole, and their tongue is red and pink. It's terrifying, and they're awful. And they don't act like normal boos do in this one. Instead, like when you face them, they turn transparent, and then you can't beat them. But if you turn away, they come and chase you. So they don't really cower away. They just turn transparent. You can't see them. And then the land that they're in, the level that they're in is it's awful. It is so creepy. It plays the worst freaking... It plays some horrible music, by the way. It's super creepy as a child. Now I can do it because, I've done it many, 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 many times before. But yeah, so the level they appear in is called Big Boo's Haunt. And the way to get there is by following... Like, if you go straight through the castle and go through, not the main door, but the side door, you go down some stairs, and there's a boo, like, waiting for you in the hallway after you've gotten enough stars. And then you follow the boo outside to the courtyard, and there's a whole bunch of boos just chilling, hanging out in the fountain, and just waiting to, like, creep up on you when you're not suspecting it. And the way to get to the level is you have to beat, there's, like, a boo outside that has, honestly, it looks like a log that's been, like, cut by a woodchuck or, like, a beaver. It's, like, kind of pointy, cylindrical, and pointy. I always thought it was a log until I grew up and realized it's, like, the level. It's, like, a cage.
Right.
So in order to beat him, you have to ground pound him while he's obviously not transparent. And then he spits it out. Well, he dies, and then he spits out the level. And then you jump over the level, and you get really small, and it sucks you in. And then you just drop into, like, the area, and you're, like, kind of floating in space. It's like one of those levels that's just kind of there, and you can't really see what's outside of the cage, but it's a giant cage.
Almost like Galaxy, yeah.
I mean, it's just floating in the middle of nowhere. I'd love to see what it looked like if you panned the camera out.
Right.
Is it just like the background, one giant black starry area? Probably. And then once you drop into level, creepy music plays, and there's a castle or like a mansion. I don't really know what it's classified as. And then there's like some weird shed outside. So when you go to the main castle, there's a whole bunch of doors, and I think this is one of the funnest levels, but also like one of the most terrifying levels. Is you have to go through each of the doors and like figure out how to get up to the top floor, and then once you get to the top floor, there's a scary ass piano waiting for you, and don't trust the books on the bookshelf either, because they'll come at you with sharp ass teeth. So boos are present all throughout this level. Again, you have to make sure that you either A, sneak up behind them, or don't look at them directly and do like a wall bounce, or like one of those, I don't know what it's called, but you like flick the analog stick to the right and then flick it to the left, and you do like a cartwheel through the air. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
To behind them, and you can either kick them or ground pound them or punch them, and then they'll die and they'll give you coins. And then this part never really made sense to me, but you can go into the shed, and then there's like a boo merry-go-round that plays some like creepy carnival music.
Oh, it's so creepy.
It's such a weird construction. But yeah, you have to kill the boos, and then once you kill the giant boo at the end, you unlock the star. So it's super fun. So when you go there, don't trust the piano and don't trust the books on the shelf. But the whole thing is it's kind of strange. I don't understand why there's a shed with a carousel merry-go-round thing in it. It's very weird. But yeah, it's one of the coolest levels. It's one of the scariest levels. Would definitely recommend playing that game. And, also another thing. When they're defeated, a text box shows up and it says, "Ghosts don't die. Ha ha ha. Can you get out of here alive?" ? Which is still one of the most ominous things I've ever seen in a Mario game ever. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I'd probably still give the crown to the freaking Dire Docks for like creepiest level, but yeah, you can't.
True.
The freaking piano, the freaking music, it's all terrifying for sure. I bet if we all went to therapy, everyone who played this game as a kid, this game would definitely go back to it. Like our lives would go back to this game as for like anxiety or something. I don't know.
It's so much scarier because everything is more blocky and like not realistic looking. Straight out of nightmares. That eel fish thing? No thank you. Oh, and then I guess the next one is me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bam. Next one is Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. So, boos do not appear in the original Super Mario Bros., but boos are the main enemy in the mode called You versus Boo. Go figure. So the goal of the game is to reach the flagpole before Boo. This one was actually really cool. I didn't know about this one. So this mode has like a increasingly difficulty like denominated by 4 different color of boos. So you start with the white one, who's the slowest, and then once you beat him to the flagpole, he flies away and is replaced by a green boo, which is a little faster. Then once he's beat it turns into a red boo, which is again a little faster, and then it turns into a black boo. And the black boo is the fastest because he matches the player's best time. So he is the hardest to beat out of them all. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's a fun little thing.
Yeah, so that's the only time he appears in that one. But still, one of the best, I don't know if you'd say cameos, but one of the best cameos of any game that he's in, I think.
Yeah, that would have been a good game to have growing up. I did not own it, but pretty neat from the Game Boy Color.
Very, very fun.
Super Mario Sunshine is next from the year 2002. So, there are not a lot of boos in this game. There is a boss fight with King Boo himself, but basically the level King Boo down below starts you out in front of Hotel Delfino. This one's pretty fresh on my mind. I just streamed this game a few months ago. Hated it. You're told the casino is closed because there are creepy sounds coming from the basement. And there's this, what are they called? Piantas? Is that what those guys are called?
The freaky humanoid, not humanoid thingies.
This hotel owner, manager, whatever, he's like, hey, can we trick you? I mean, could you come in and take care of this this noise for us? There's a handful of invisible boos when you go inside to the casino area. You spray them with water to make them appear, and the idea is like you're in a casino on the ground floor of the hotel. You ground pound this giant roulette wheel, and you're taken down below the hotel to where King Boo is. Now, I was thinking about it. I doubt anyone has ever gone to Vegas and just ground pounded the freaking earth. And, like, I don't know. This could be coming from something, you know. Maybe there is something to be done at a casino near the roulette table. I don't know. The boos all look like they are under the influence of something in this game.
Which is
have you seen them?
So perfect for a casino, yeah.
Their eyes are like blue, and they have their tongue just hanging out. It never goes in their mouth. Yeah, they look great. I love them, but
they look droopy. Like their whole characteristic is just droopy.
So to defeat King Boo, who is also under the influence of something, you pretty much have to feed him a bunch of spicy food because video games. Yeah. King Boo looks way different than he did in Luigi's Mansion, which was out like a year before this game. His crown is different, his eyes are different, he has much less teeth, and it's unclear what events occurred to make King Boo lose the majority of his teeth between Luigi's Mansion and Mario Sunshine. Please comment if you have any idea. I'm wondering if it has any relation to the spicy food thing. I'm unsure.
Could be.
Another level in the hotel is also where you'll find sleepy boos, which are in the air ducts of the hotel, and this is apparently an entirely different species of boo. Though the average human would assume that they're just boos, sleeping, but no. The Sleepy Boo is an entire species, so...
Huh, I totally forgot about those. But yeah, they're really annoying because they block your way, don't they?
Yeah, I remember them being annoying. Yeah, they're like Snorlax in Pokemon. They're just there sleeping. That's all I got for Mario Sunshine.
I remember that level taking you a really long time, by the way, when you were streaming. You were so confused.
Yeah, the air ducts one especially. That one took me a while.
Yeah. That one also took me a while when I was playing it too. I was like, should I give up? Is it worth playing this game further? Is it all
every level like I asked that.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is New Super Mario Bros. There are 3 kinds of boos in this game. There are the normal type of boos, which behave, standard. They get scared or shy when you look at them, but they're also, like, low-key scary when they come after you. The normal boos can be defeated with a shell. Also, did you know this? It's, like, the superstar is also called, like, a starman. Like, when you equipped it, eat it, when you get the star, you're called, like, a starman? I was just called a superstar, but anyway.
Yeah,
Omega mushroom or blue shell. I didn't know that. I didn't know the terminology. Look at me. Fake gamer. Then there are also 2 non-traditional boos, which I don't know if you can classify them as their own species, but probably. So the first one is a balloon boo. These are normal-looking boos that have inhaled a whole bunch of air. They did kind of like a pufferfish thing, where their, like, cheeks are all blown out, and they're, like, massive. They perpetually have an uncomfortable expression on their face, almost like they're constipated, which I think is funny. And they're also bigger, like I said, than the normal boos, and they have cute, rosy cheeks. So less terrifying. And also, you just kind of feel bad for them because their expression is it looks like they're in pain. And also, a cute little added detail. Yeah. Their little tail, which boos always have, it's just kind of like a swoosh. It resembles a balloon knot when it is tied. Isn't that cute?
Love it.
Fun little detail. These boos will start inflating when the player is looking at them, but when the player turns away, they will chase them and slowly let out air until they're small, like normal-sized boos. But they'll still chase you when they're small, so don't think that you're off the hook when they're deflated. And let's see. So in New Super Mario Bros., they can be defeated with a Superstar or a Mega Mushroom. If the player doesn't have any of these equipped, though, they will take damage. Even if you have a Fire Flower or flying hammers from the hammer suit, won't do any damage. Fun fact, though, when Mega Mario or Mega Luigi comes into contact with a balloon boo, the boo flies away in a very sporadic circular motion, just like when you let the air out of a balloon. Isn't that cool?
Heck yeah.
Love the detail. Then the next one is called a bruiser, or just a boozer, or just a boxer, which is far less fun of a name. Bruiser spelled Broozers, and they look like if Pac-Man ghosties were like 3D and purple and had like cute little feet, they'd look just like that. But they also have red boxing gloves, giant sharp teeth, and really scary looking green neon eyes. And then little feet like Toad. They can punch through solid question blocks and deal a sizable chunk of damage to Mario and Luigi if their attack hits them. They attack pretty randomly and charge at Mario when they see him, or Mario or Luigi when they see him. They're a little more durable than their normal boo counterparts. It takes 3 strikes to kill them. So they're pretty durable.
Why is it sometimes boozer and sometimes bruiser?
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a mistranslation thing or they're just referenced in other games as something different. But in this game, they're bruisers.
Gotcha.
Because they will bruise you. And they bruise. So bruisers. Next.
Nice. I did look up Balloon Boo. That was a perfect description.
Thank you.
I love it. The puffiest of them all, for sure.
Not the scariest, though. There's another one coming up that's also puffy and super scary looking.
I have Super Mario Galaxy up next from, I think it's 07. Yeah, 2007. The boos are scattered throughout like 4 or 5 different galaxies in this game. They can actually be defeated in this game. Not always true for Mario games. You either shine light on them or you pick up a star and become Rainbow Mario and you touch them. Either will do. There are a few different species of Boo in this game, including Big Boo, who is in a lot of Mario games. Atomic Boo, which is just a Boo made up of a bunch of smaller Boos. And Bomb Boo, which has yellow eyes and can be grabbed by its tongue. I forgot about this guy.
That's a new one.
For sure. One particular Big Boo is named Spooky Speedster, and he's wearing a racing helmet in the game. And Mario loves their, like 3D Mario loves their freaking racing against random enemies, you know, like Koopa what is his name? Koopa the Quick.
Yeah, the Quick.
And then Odyssey has a bunch of racing Koopas too. But yeah.
Everybody
Most
be
importantly,
racing.
most importantly, we get Boo Mario, which is probably not a species of Boo, but maybe. Mario turns into a Boo, wears his hat, retains his facial features, mustache, and everything. When Boos see him, they fall in love with him and chase after him. So
Aww.
as soon as you get hit by one, they realize you're not a Boo, and they start to attack you.
It's an imposter.
But that's it for Mario Galaxy.
Wow. I didn't know that. How cool. The bomber ones are cool. I have not experienced that in my research.
I think they have yellow eyes, yeah.
Creepy. The next one we have is New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which came out in 2009. So this one has Boos, Big Boos, more Bruisers, and Boo Buddies all appear in this game. They follow the same attack patterns and attributes as their other appearances in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. They do have a blue glow around them, though, in this game to make them look more, like, ghostly, which I think is a cool addition. In the level selection screen, a single Boo will watch Mario and will taunt him as he enters. If Mario gets tossed out of the level, the Boo will laugh at him. However, once the level is beaten, the Boo will hide its face in shame for the rest of the game.
That's probably a really cool fact that I, never noticed.
Yep, that was on the wiki. Shout out to the wiki. That's it.
Alright, regular Super Mario Galaxy 2. Pretty much the same thing I said for Mario Galaxy with the addition of Octoboos, which
Ooh.
resemble, get ready for it, Octgoombas. These are I'm sure no one knows what the heck I'm talking about just based off the name, but we've all seen these guys just playing Mario games. They're like these octopus Goomba looking things except ghosty, which I realize sounds absolutely horrifying, but it's not. It's just it's kind of cute actually. But yeah, Octoboos, and then we go into Super Mario 3D Land all the way in 2011. So, wow, it was only 1 year after Galaxy 2. I feel like the Wii and 3DS in my mind were, not as close together as they actually were.
I agree. I thought the same thing when we were looking that up. I was like, there's no way.
Mario 3D Land, there are regular Boos appearing all over the game, but the Tanuki suit was a big part of this game, and they introduced tail Boos, which have Tanuki tails, and they will swing them at Mario while they're hiding their faces. Kind of cute, not gonna lie.
I've seen these ones. They are very cute.
There are also Peepas, a new species of Boo who don't look anything, they don't act anything like Boo. Instead, they just kind of move around a set position. I'd like to see the book from the random game that says that Peepas are a part of the Boo family because it seems like it could be debated.
Agreed.
Take us to our next game.
So the next one is New Super Mario Bros. 2, which came out in 2012. Again, back-to-back Super Mario games. So this one includes the other creepy Boo that I was talking about, called the Boo-hemoth, which I think is just an amazing play on words. So it's a huge version of Boo that looks somehow even creepier. He's like a 10,000% the size of a normal Boo, and he also has really kind of human-like facial features. He has human teeth instead of the fangs, so he's normal, a row of teeth instead of the fangs that stick out. His eyes are much bigger, and instead of just being black eyes with a little bit of white, a little bit of a pupil like the normal Boos have, his eyes are white with black pupils and are kind of inlaid into his face, and they're surrounded by black. He has puffy cheeks, you got cheek implants or something, and kind of a puffier chin. I don't know if you're looking at a picture, but he's pretty scary looking. He's pretty terrifying. So Boo-hemoth covers his eyes and looks all shy when Mario's looking at him, but if Mario waits there long enough, he'll start to peek out from behind his little ghostly hands and slowly move closer to Mario. Like other Boos, his main attack is to touch Mario and will damage Mario if he touches him. So the level that he is in, he takes the whole left side of the screen, and it's one of those levels where he follows you as you complete the level, because you obviously have to turn away to him and face right. So it's like one of those ones where, like, the lava's, chasing you, or, like, the lava's, what do you call those? Like, timed levels? There's got to be a specific name for them.
The ones that move automatically for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember what they're called, but there's also big boos. Similar to the smaller normal boos, these boos can be turned into gold boos by using a gold ring, and they fly away from Mario, leaving a trail of coins behind him. Or behind them. Him, she, her, I don't know. There's also Peepas in this game, like you said. These guys are less spherical than normal boos. They look much more like Pac-Man style ghosties if they were like 3D. They have permanent smiles, giant buck teeth, and black eyes with white pupils. They also glow like a really pretty shade of purple, and they have like cute stubby little arms. They don't chase Mario though like other boos. They kind of travel in set paths, like you said. They're usually blocking a platform or a question block. So that's it for
I gotta
that
say,
one.
Behemoth, absolutely horrifying. If
See?
they had this thing in Mario 64, I would not have made it to 26 years old.
It's awful looking. But you see what I'm saying about it being like kind of human-like?
Yeah, and it's funny how little they changed and how drastically different he is.
Scary, just absolutely scary. So the next one is mine again. We have New Super Mario Bros. U for the Wii U, which came out also in 2012. There are not that many types of boos in this game. There are boos, big boos, boo buddies, or circling boo buddies. I don't know why they're called two different things, but they are. So circling boo buddies are rotating circular formation of boos with different facial expressions. Some of them are normal boos. Some of them have resting boo face, which is just like, the normal boo face. Some have their tongue sticking out, some are smiling, and some of them just look straight nervous. And they rotate like in a circle, like a set path. And that's it. They really didn't add anything to New Super Mario Bros. U.
Great game, though. Everyone needs to play that game. Switch or Wii U.
Agreed.
I got Super Mario 3D World / Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Not a lot to add here. You got your same old boos. You got your Peepas, your big boos. Yeah, just more of the same old boo. But it's definitely the best game ever made, so go play that. Next up, Hannah, we got Super Mario Odyssey. Go for it.
Yes, we do. So, Boo does not make a physical appearance in this game, but it does kind of make a little bit of a cameo. So Peach wears like a Boo mask on the side of her head when she visits Bowser's Kingdom. So Boo is kind of in this game, but not really. It's the first Super Mario game to not include Boo since Super Mario Land.
It's honestly really weird to think about. Like, yeah, since Super Mario Land, which was like, 91 or something crazy? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, also the weird thing is, they do have other ghost species in the game. Like, Cappy is a ghost before he turns into Cappy, like the hat. So, are those ghosts related? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the wiki would have told us. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whenever I'm talking about Luigi's Mansion, there's all those different ghosts, and they don't seem to be boos, so I'm going to go with no.
That's true. Okay, there are other ghosts out there. Good point.
All right. Well, that's it for the Mario area, the Mario section. Yeah, definitely weird that Mario Odyssey doesn't have a single boo.
I know.
You start out in that like ghosty world, and they totally could have thrown a few in, but
just a few. Hey, just visiting. We like other ghost friends,
Let's break into Luigi's Mansion here. Boos are the main enemies in all of the Luigi's Mansion titles. They're everywhere. If you've never played these games, they're all pretty great. You totally should. Without going into the plot of each game, I will just quickly kind of give you an overview of the first game. Mario is trapped inside of a painting by the Boos. Luigi teams up with an old crazy guy named Professor Egad, who gives Luigi a vacuum. That vacuum is called the Poltergust. He's able to suck up Boos and other ghosts with it. And you find out King Boo is the main antagonist of the 3 games. This is King Boo's first ever appearance. And you know what? I gotta pause it here. The Mario 64 DS, Hannah, I was skimming over some of the wiki earlier, and I think Boo's trapped Luigi in a painting in Mario 64 DS. I think
Do they really?
that you didn't research that game, Hannah.
Well, you're right. Calling me out. Yeah,
Calling
I did
me out.
not.
Anyways, I've never played that game. Have you played that version?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So I doubt. I don't know. That was an interesting thing that I saw, because I know that you can play as Wario and Yoshi and Luigi in that game. So that's probably like something they threw in to like incorporate why he's there or something. I don't know. Anyways, without going, yeah, Boo's in Luigi's Mansion actually act opposite of what you see in the Mario titles. They approach you when you're looking at them and freeze when you're not. There are 51 Boos in the original Luigi's Mansion. They all try to run away from you when you find them. And collecting them all is actually an optional side mission throughout the game. Each of them has a punny name. You got your Bamboo, your Taboo, your Peekaboo, etc.
That's fun.
In the second and third titles, you get a dark light, which is required to expose the Boos before you can capture them. And as far as new species go, there's Boolossus, who is a servant of King Boo, and he appears in all of the games. But yeah, King Boo ends up to be this freaking tyrant ruling over this mansion in the first game, and I don't know what his beef was with Mario. You know, I haven't played the game in a long time, but yeah.
He's tired of his brethren being ground pounded and kicked.
That's it for the Luigi's Mansion section.
Wow. Okay. So now we are into Paper Mario, which we are going to also include Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. I knew that Super Mario RPG had a bigger title, but for some reason I could not remember what it was. But it's Legend of the Seven Stars.
Yep.
A long-ass title. Anyway, Boos in this game were translated into English as Big Boos, which I think is kind of the discrepancy. I think they're just normal Boos, and then Big Boos kind of became a thing, so they're like, there's Big Boos, but then there's other bigger Boos. So I think that was a oopsie on the English translation team. But anyway, they appear much like they do in other games, but some of them teleport around the room just to scare Mario and his friends. They live in the Caro sewers with other ghouls like hobgoblins and shadows, and will often battle Mario together. So before I move on, this is obviously an RPG, so when we're talking about like Boos, you can't just like simply jump on them anymore. It's got like more extensive RPG kind of elements into it, more turn-based RPG battle, which I totally forgot when I was looking at this. I was like, wait, you can't just jump on them? But no, it's different. So the Big Boos are actually enemies that you deal with, like I said, in turn-based battles. They also are with battle usually with hobgoblins and shadows, shadows are like kind of creepy. They're like black, purplish figures that just kind of like chase you. Super creepy. So in battle, Boos have no physical defense, making them incredibly weak enemies, but they do make up for it by having a super high evasion skill, meaning that most attacks you direct at them will not land or deal any damage. So in terms of attacks, Boos have powerful lightning magic, which includes a lightning orb and bolt attack. They also have a special attack called Scream, which will put a party member's or cut a party member's attack and defense in half. Which is not good, meaning they'll get hit harder and they don't hit as enemies as hard. When not using magic, Big Boos will approach one of Mario's party members and make a face, which does a few points of damage to the player. So they literally scare the life out of you. There is another kind of Boo that appears in the game called a Lil Boo, L-I-L Boo, Lil Boo. This Boo has the same... Right, this Boo has the same attack patterns and moves, but has a blue tongue and is a little bit stronger. So the Big Boos are weaker than the Little Boos. So, something was not right there. Big Boo also appears in Bowser's Terrorize attack, which I think is super cool. In this attack, Big Boo is summoned by Bowser and attacks the enemies and inflicts the fear status, which again just cuts the party members' attack and defense in half. And that's all I got for that one. Next is Paper Mario 64, which is a game that I highly recommend that everyone play. I'm going to explain the level a little bit, but I don't want to go too much into it because I really want you to play this game and experience it for the first time. So, the moves in this game are probably the most memorable for me. So Paper Mario 64, along Mario's journey, he meets unique characters and they become like his buddies and they fight alongside him in battle. They all have special abilities and special attacks, and obviously some are better than others. But in this game, you are introduced to Lady Boo, the leader of the Boos that resides in Boo's mansion, along with her butler, which is a butler character. Creative name. He's greenish, like kind of pale green, kind of whitish. He has a big puffy white mustache and hair to match. Big, nice, puffy white hair. He also carries a towel over his arm. In typical butler fashion. Lady Boo is a green color and has red bows on each side, which is probably why she got her name. She also has a very expressive face. All of the characters in Paper Mario do. They're very expressive. They're very cartoony. She has dark green above her eyes, kind of like eyeshadow, and very expressive eyebrows. Her main attack in the game is to literally smack the piss out of her enemies. You can upgrade this move to make her hit harder and make her smack them, like smack, 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 smack. It's actually pretty brutal, but it's also really funny. So to briefly describe the level a little bit without giving away too many spoilers, the whole point of Paper Mario 64 is to gather these things called Star Spirits, which have been captured by Bowser and his forces. In this case, though, Bo and her servants have captured a Star Spirit named Scholar. They're using him as leverage over Mario to get Mario to help them out. So Bo and her crew, I guess, stole Scholar because there is a bluish, purplish kind of spike, which is the chunkier version of the Koopas that throws like spikes and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
Named Tuba Bluba, who's going around eating Boos by the dozen.
Dang.
So, Bo or Bow, wherever you want to say it, obviously doesn't like that her friends and subjects are being eaten, so she uses Scholar to manipulate Mario into helping her defeat Tuba Bluba. Bo says that once Tuba's defeated, though, she will release Scholar and give it to Mario so that he can progress along his journey, but once she is beaten and Mario explains the situation that he must save Princess Peach, Bo agrees to join him on his journey, and therefore you get another buddy who smacks the bejesus out of your enemies. So in this game, the Boos aren't really enemies of Mario, but like as you're progressing through the mansion, they do kind of like battle you, and in order to test you to make sure that you actually can beat Tuba Bluba on behalf of Bo. So I love that level. It's one of my favorite ones. The whole like level is like kind of a desert level. There's like desolate places, desolate trees, ruins and stuff that you have to explore. It's very fun. Very fun level. Then, next we have everyone's favorite Paper Mario game. What is it?
TTYD.
Yeah, the Thousand Year Door. So this is the first game in the Paper Mario series where the Boos are actual enemies. Like I said before, they're not really their enemies. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're like anti-antagonists or like anti-heroes. They're just kind of there. They're doing their thing. There are regular Boos in this game, but the most notable Boo or Boos in the game is Atomic Boo, which you said earlier. But in this case, it's comprised of roughly 200 Boos. That's a lot of Boos, man. So it's an optional mini-boss in the Creepy Steeple level of the game. Mario can encounter this boss by going into the Creepy Steeple and opening up a chest. When he does, 200 Boos fly out. A Boo named the Creepy Steeple Boo, creative name, will ask Mario how many Boos just flew out of the chest, and depending on which option you choose, you'll get an item or a coin. There are some other events that happen. I don't really want to spoil it too much, but if you lie to the Creepy Steeple Boo, the other Boos will swarm you and either throw you out or form into the Atomic Boo, in which case you have to beat him in order to progress. Next, is Super Paper Mario, which is one of the only Paper Marios I haven't played. Boos are again enemies in this game. Similar to their appearance in Super Mario 64, these boos turn invisible when you look at them and can only be defeated by attacking them from behind, which is just a common theme we'll see here with all of my notes. They're also present in the Flipside Arcade, where there is a boo-themed shooting game. Basically, this is just like a target practice game where Mario can shoot at the boos, dark boos, and sometimes atomic boos, and you get points for killing them. Lady Bow, or Bow, also makes 3 cameos in this game, which is very interesting. I didn't know that. So she's canon. She's canonical in other games.
Huh.
Next is Sticker Star. Regular boos and golden boos again reappear in this game. Nothing too notable about them, honestly. It's just the same thing. But there is a group of 82 boos called a boo stack, which instead of being stacked like on top of each other vertical, they're stacked kind of horizontally, kind of like the pages of a book. You can't see all 82 boos. You can see one, and then like every boo's corner or like edge after that. You know what I'm talking about? Like the pages of a book.
Yeah.
Because it's Paper Mario after all. Once these boos are defeated, Kamek shows up and turns them into a big boo, and that becomes another mini-boss. Next up is Color Splash. Love this game on the Wii U. People hate it, but I actually really enjoyed it. The boos in this game behave the exact same way in the other games. Again, nothing really notable to note here. In battle, they attack by either hitting Mario or scaring him for damage. They can also disappear in battle so that your attacks miss. Outside of battle, if Mario stares at a boo for too long, it will disappear and reappear behind him, just to give you, a little bit of a heart attack. There's also a boo 10 stack, which is just like the 82 stack boos, but obviously there's only 10 of them. Then last but not least, I think one of the most creative iterations of boos is in Origami King, where they can be seen roaming the scorching sandpaper desert level at night. There's original boos, but because it's origami, they're like made out of paper, so a little more blocky. They're like not polygonal, you know what I'm talking about. You can't make a circle out of paper, so they're like folded origami paper. There's also a version of boo called a paper macho boo, which is a giant boo made with like a metal frame with paper mache over the frame. And every time you hit the boo by attacking it from behind, it kind of curls the paper up or like wrinkles the paper. And then the metal frame underneath is exposed, and that is how you beat it. Which is really cool. Do you remember those?
I haven't played Origami King.
Oh, right. You only have mine. You only have my copy of it.
This is true.
Yep. You're up.
I forgot Origami King existed. I was like, oh, she must be about to talk about Paper Jam, and then, no. I forgot about Origami King.
I liked Origami King a lot. Oh, and then another thing in Origami King I forgot. So the battle layout of Origami King is a little bit different. It's like spinning the rings around. It's kind of hard to explain. But
yeah.
Before the battle, you get to memorize what's on the thing. And then there can be boos on the rings, but as soon as the battle starts, the boos disappear. So you have to just kind of like memorize where they are on the map.
Very cool, very cool. Very detailed. You got a big one there, and I know that you wanted it because of how much you love the first 2 Paper Marios.
Yes, especially Paper Mario 64. I love that game. It's a classic.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about the fact that I definitely need to play that.
Yeah, you do. Hey, it's on Nintendo Switch Online if you want to pay for a subscription.
I think I have the cartridge, so no worries.
Oh, well, there you go.
I think. I'm pretty sure I have it now. I got it last year. Mario Party is up next. It is tremendously short. I did not write a lot down. Basically, there are a handful of games where you can actually play as Boo, but when he's not playable, and even when he is playable, you can see Boo all over the place. There are haunted maps that are Boo themed. There are mini games with Boo all over them. Boo is everywhere. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I'm not going to list every mini game and map. But yeah, Boo, you can assume he's in every Mario Party game in some sense, whether it's a playable character, hosting a mini game, whatever. Sometimes he's even a thief that you can hire to steal some coins from another player. You gotta love it, unless you're the other player. The games that he is actually playable in are 5, 6, 7, and 8, and Island Tour, and Super Mario Party. And we don't like Super Mario Party here on the Unlockable Podcast, but...
I like Super Mario Party.
You do?
Yeah, I've had tons of fun playing that game. Well, because
So have I. It's aight.
Despite what you might think about the other games, me and my roommate played it a lot, so I have very fond memories of that. It's very easy for a non-gamer to pick up and play, especially the water raft ride or mode. I don't know if you've played that one, but that one's really fun.
We don't need to go into it. I've complained way too much about this game.
Okay, am I up?
Yeah.
Alright, so next is the Mario Kart series. First we have Super Mario Kart, which is the first appearance of Boo in the Mario Kart series. They write that, but there's no Mario Kart game before that, so this has to be the first time it's appeared in the Mario Kart series. There are, and I didn't know this because I have not played Super Mario Kart extensively. I think I've played it maybe like once or twice. So there are exclusive items. So the Boos are exclusive items that can be used only in second player or two-player mode in this game, and they're just called ghosts. When the player uses the item, they will become transparent temporarily, and the ghost will steal the opposing player's item. They also appear in the background. See? I had no idea. They also appear in the background in the 3 Ghost Valley courses where they sneak at the players as they drive by. I had no idea that was a thing.
I know Boo has a map in that game, and I only know this because it was in like the Wii version, like ported. But yeah, I know there's like a Boo themed map, and it's got the shortcut. Yeah,
I believe it's Ghost Valley 2 is that course, and yes, it is in the Wii version, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So the next one, which I have the most experience with, is Mario Kart 64. Boos, again, are a usable item in Mario Kart 64. They can be obtained only if the player's in the top 2 positions, which I didn't know. When activated, the Boo selects the racer with the best item, steals the item, and returns the player that used the Boo. At the same time, the player also receives total invincibility and invisibility for a short period of time. The player can pass through items, course obstacles, and other racers by simply passing through them, which kind of, now that I see it, seems like really overpowered. That game is just like unbalanced anyways. That's what makes it so much fun. Boos also make an appearance in Banshee Boardwalk, which is honestly one of the hardest freaking courses in any Mario Kart game, because there's
sounds like a scary level.
It is scary, but there's no like railings and stuff on a lot of the course, so you just straight up fall into the water. But you've never played Mario Kart 64, have you?
This is true.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'm Googling Banshee Boardwalk.
It's scary. It's got a dark ambiance. It's boardwalk, obviously, like wooden plank boardwalk, and then there's like, you go inside of a creepy mansion-esque castle thing. Bats fly at you and are an obstacle, and the Boos just kind of float around. They don't hurt the player at all if you run into them. They're kind of just like background-ish kind of things, but they can fly in front of you. But they're transparent, so you can see through them, so it's not really a threat. But it's cool ambiance there.
Yeah, it looks like freaking Castle Dracula over here. It's kind of scary.
It's spooky, and there's like graffiti on the walls. It's a red and orange. It's spooky. Very, very spooky. Next is Mario Kart Super Circuit. Also, Boo is an item in this game. When activated, they slow down the leading racer, which is different. A CPU can also use the Boo item, and when they do, it can steal items from the players and make them lose coins. They also make physical appearances in 2 courses, Boo Lake and Broken Pier. At Boo Lake, the Boos are nice, and they hold candles to guide the players around the track. But Broken Pier, they're evil, and they attack the player and steal their coins. Next is Double Dash, which I have very little experience with. But Boos are not items in this game. Boos and the Boolossus, which you mentioned earlier, appear as portraits in the Luigi's Mansion battle course. Also, King Boo makes his Mario Kart debut as a playable character.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
he's a heavy
that's
boy.
Where he starts. Big boy. Next, we have Mario Kart Arcade GP. Boo appears as a basic item in this game. It causes whoever is hit by it to temporarily slow down. There's also an item called a triple Boo, which I couldn't really find that much information on, but I assume it's just it's a power-up that can be used 3 times, like the 3 mushrooms or the 3 green shells. I'm gonna make that assumption. If I'm wrong, totally let me know. Next, Mario Kart DS. Boos are items in this game too, but they no longer slow down the player in first place or steal the best item from the player. But now they just steal the nearest racer's item, so it's kind of a grab bag. You don't really know what you're gonna get. But when you use the Boo item in this game, you won't be slowed down by driving off the course either. So like the grass or like water doesn't slow you down at all. You can make various shortcuts, which is nice. You can shave off some time there if you're a speed runner. The item can be obtained by players anywhere from 3rd to 7th place, which is interesting. Boos can also be seen in pictures from Luigi's Mansion and the Luigi's Mansion race course, and they again appear in Banshee Boardwalk, which I don't know if that's considered a remake or a remaster or just like an updated one. Not really sure. So the next one on the list is Mario Kart Arcade GP2. They appear the same way they do in the first one, but triple Boos do not appear in this one. Next is Mario Kart Wii. Just like Double Dash, Boos are not items in the Mario Kart Wii version, but King Boo is again a playable character. There's also the SNES remake of Ghost Valley 2, and they also make an appearance in Bowser's Castle. So next is Mario Kart 7. Boos appear in the returning track of Luigi's Mansion in place of the portrait ghosts. They will pop out of their paintings when the drivers race by them. They also appear as spectators in Toad Circuit, so they're in the audience snickering at you.
They are quite the snickerers.
Yeah, they're very signature snicker cackle laugh. Next is Mario Kart Arcade GPDX. They return from the same thing as GP2, so I'm not going to mention them. Next is Mario Kart 8 / Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Boos appear as obstacles in the Twisted Mansion course. That's the one where you're riding around through like a dark and spooky mansion. The track is the red carpet. You go through the library. You spend most of your time on like the walls. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
And then you fly over the courtyard with grass into like 2 tracks. That's like a shortcut and one's like a long cut just in case you mess up. The other notable thing to say is the giant hammer armor swinging guys at the end before you cross the line. The reason they do that is because they're possessed by the Boos. I was watching video gameplay, and when I played that game, I had no idea that the Boos did that, but watching it back, the Boos actually like possess the thing and they glow like blue. I had no idea.
Wow.
The level of detail, I didn't even notice.
A little too busy driving to notice.
Yep, exactly. King Boo again is a playable character. Boos are also reintroduced as items in this game. Boos steal an item from a random player in front of the person who used it, so not the best item and not the nearest one, just whoever is like in front. They also get invincibility, and invisible players are not immune to this item. A Boo will bring back a mushroom if there is nothing to steal, which is nice instead of just getting duped and getting nothing if no one has an item. A Boo can steal anything except a Crazy 8, a Piranha Plant, or a Bullet Bill already in use. So the best power-ups. You can't use them if they're already in use. Next is Mario Kart Tour. Boos appear in Mario Kart Tour in the courses the SNES Ghost Valley 1, SNES Ghost Valley 2, and GBA Boo Lake. DS is Luigi's Mansion and RMX Ghost Valley 1, where they act the same as they do in other courses in previous games. Wooden cutouts of Boos can also appear in the SNES Ghost Valley courses and DS Luigi's Mansion course. And King Boo again is a playable character. And a glider known as the Boo Masks also appear in the game as Peach's signature glider, which I didn't know that. I thought her signature glider was like isn't it pink parasol? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. Like I can picture daisies. It's like a flower, but I don't know.
I did not know that Boo and Princess Peach were so close. Also, last but not least is Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. Boos appear in Mario Kart Live in Boo Fortress just to frighten the players who hit them. Bam. And that's it.
I like how King Boo is a heavy character. Like he probably weighs nothing. But
yeah, he's just he's just energy or air, right?
He's less than energy. I don't know.
Anti-energy.
Hannah, I gotta say you're killing it with these. I don't have a lot to say about the Mario sports titles. I'm gonna be tossing it back to you pretty quickly.
Dang, man.
Alright. Boo is sometimes playable in the Mario sports games. He's been known to dabble. Funny enough, he tells you the speed and direction of the wind in some of the Mario Golf games. He is a freaking windsock. He has been demoted pretty heavily in the Mario Golf titles.
Dang.
That is until Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, which I'm pretty sure is the GameCube one. Yeah, so he's playable in Toadstool Tour, World Tour, and Super Rush, the most recent one on Switch. He is a playable character in all of the Mario Tennis games, with the N64 one actually being his first time being a playable video game character, which is pretty sweet.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either. Make sure that you got your Mario Tennis on the shelf, collectors. He's not playable in the Game Boy Color version of Mario Tennis, though.
Boo.
Mario Superstar Baseball, Super Sluggers, Mario Hoops 3-on-3. I mean, this dude does it all. He's just incredible. Super Mario Strikers. Mario Strikers Charged. So he wasn't in the first Mario Strikers. He hasn't made it into the Switch one yet. But he was on the Wii one. And speaking of possessing things, he can possess the ball and score. There are truly no rules in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Heck yeah.
And then Mario Sports Superstars. He's also a playable character. I don't remember which game that is. I think... Man, which game is that? Mario Sports...
That's the 3DS one, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that game. 5 out of 10 on Nintendo Life. No wonder I forgot about it.
Ooh.
Take us to the next section, Hannah. Yoshi.
Alright, next is Yoshi. So, I know that the first game that Yoshi appeared in, like a Yoshi title, was not like a platformer at all. But every time I forget about that, and so I learned about it again. Boos are one of the 6 falling items in Yoshi. The sprite is very similar to the one in Super Mario World. He's pretty plain. He's white, round, with like the zigzag squiggly red mouth. Not a lot of detail, obviously, because it's an NES game. Next is Yoshi's Cookie. Boos are Yoshi's enemy in this game. They are among the easiest opponents in the games, right up there with the Goombas and the Cheep Cheeps and the Paratroopas. There are also a thing called Fish and Boos, which is kind of a ghostly looking Lakitu. So the color scheme of him is white and grayish. He rides a clown just like a Lakitu does, with a fishing pole that has a blue flame at the end. And he doesn't have a face, but he wears black glasses and has eyes. So he kind of has a face. He doesn't have a mouth, I guess. I didn't think that those were considered Boos, but apparently they are. I thought they were the Lakitu. But if we go by my theory, maybe it's just a dead Lakitu.
Oh, man. Heck yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. So next is Yoshi's Safari. Boos only appear in the Ghost Mansion area of this game. Unlike most enemies, they are not immediately defeated by shooting with the Super Scope, which is the light gun attachment. I know you know all about that. When you shoot a Boo, they will be temporarily stunned, and then Yoshi will have to jump on it to defeat it. So usually with the Super Scope, if you shoot an enemy, I think it dies immediately. But Boos are the exception. A big Boo is also the boss for the level. I've never been held a Super Scope before. I've never played anything that has used it.
Same. But I would love to play that game.
Yeah, me too. Next is Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. There are several types of Boos and Boo-adjacent enemies in this game. The regular Boos in this game are said to have happy faces, but honestly I think their faces just look even more menacing. It's like they're really happy to come and kill you, you know what I'm saying? there's really no happy. The corners of their mouth are just turned up a little more, so it's a little creepier. They might be happy about it, but you won't be when they come after you. The only way to defeat a Boo is to look away and then make an egg bounce off of a wall and hit the ghost in the face. And when I played this game as a child, it's just as hard as it seems. Kamek, is that how you say that? Kamek and the...
Yeah.
Kamek, the Magikoopa, turns a big boo into a bigger boo. And at one point in the game, he serves as a mini-boss, and the only way to kill him is to again ricochet the frickin' eggs off the wall, and hopefully it hits him. He gets bigger with every hit until you hit him 5 times, and he just gets so big he explodes. The next kind of boo is very specific, and I love his name. He's called Roger the Potted Plant. or just the potted ghost. He was once a lifeless plant until Kamek used magic and turned him into a living ghost pot.
Roger.
Roger the Potted Plant. So just imagine a pot with like a snaky boo coming out of it. He's kind of like rounder at the edge. Kind of like, exactly like a snake. Very slender body with a roundish head, just like a boo. There are also balloon boos, which look like boos attached to a string like a balloon. They drop an item when they pop. Another boo in the game is called Boo Man Bluff, which is a blindfolded boo who relies on sound to detect where the player is. In this game, he is like a slightly orange color with just a black blindfold on. His next appearance, though, is frickin' terrifying, which we'll get to in Yoshi's Story. So Yoshi's Story has quite a few boos. The first one is called a block boo. This kind of boo turns into a block when it feels threatened. He's also pink. Kind of looks a little bit like Kirby, but with a boo face. Another kind of boo is the blindfolded boo, which I mentioned earlier. But he looks very drastically different than he does in Yoshi's Island. This boo has giant pink ears. Take up half of his face, pink ears.
Yeah.
A light blue blindfold that pretty much covers his entire face. So when I looked at it, I had no idea that this was a boo when I was playing that game. And I've played this game a lot because I love this game. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm looking at it right now, yeah.
It almost looks like his ears are so big, he looks kind of like a werewolf, doesn't he?
It's just very disturbing, honestly. Such sharp teeth.
Pink, fleshy ears and sharp teeth. Then another kind of boo is called a little boo. These guys are just tinier versions of the boos that move in groups and swoop at Yoshi. It is impossible to defeat all the little boos because more would just appear from off-screen, so you're really screwed if you let them touch you. But if Yoshi eats a heart fruit, which is the dancing, cute little fruit or heart-shaped guy, you know what I'm talking about, with sparkles and stuff.
Right.
And does a ground pound, all the little boos around him turn into lucky fruit. The next one is one of the boos that I didn't know was a boo, but has the exact same features of a boo, like the facial features, is called the Jelly Ghost. You remember that one?
No.
Okay, so this is the ghost that I remember most from when I was playing the game, because they're kind of cool, they're really fast, and they come out of nowhere. They're in the, what is it called? The tunnel levels, the sewer levels. I know what I'm talking about now.
I'm looking it up. You can go ahead.
So, the name suggests, they're boos, but they're shaped like jelly. I don't know if you played Zelda games, but they're kind of like the chew jellies. They kind of just slide around on the bottom, leave a slimy trail behind them. They move exactly like you think jelly would. They slide across the floor or ceiling, often dropping from there to scare the bejesus out of you. They come out of nowhere. And they can be defeated by performing a ground pound. And they're really fast, too. They're fast little suckers. Next is Big and Little Boo, or Boo Clusters. These are boos that have blue mouths, distinct blue mouths other than the red mouths. The cluster consists of one regular-sized boo and some little boos. These guys mirror Yoshi's movements and approach Yoshi when they come, as they come towards him. They can be defeated by tricking them into looking away from Yoshi and then doing the frickin' egg thing, throwing it at him or bouncing it at him. Each group of big and little boos has a melon with them, and if Yoshi eats the melons, the boos will not respond if moved off screen far enough. Next is Yoshi Topsy-Turvy, which is just a fun name. Boos do appear in this game, with big boos being a little more common. They follow the same tactics as other games in the series. Next is Yoshi's Island DS. Boos appear in this game and are commonly found in the castles. They can only be defeated if Yoshi looks away and hits them with an egg after bouncing it off the wall. Same. Then, there's a fun boo called Hector the Reflector. Fun name. Like Roger the Ponded Plant. But Hector the Reflector. Hector is a large invisighoul, which means he is invisible but can only be seen in reflections of a mirror or something. He's the third boss in the game. His arena is pretty cool. It's a normal stage that's mirrored. So there's Yoshi and Baby Mario on the top, which is like the real world, and then underneath that is a reflected image of that, and that's where you can see Hector the Reflector floating around, and that's how you beat him. You have to throw the eggs where he would be in the real world by looking at his reflection. He looks like a Boo, but doesn't have any arms and has giant gaping black holes for eyes. Have you ever seen the cartoon Invader Zim?
Yeah.
He kind of looks like that, like Invader Zim Boo had a baby. Or like The Binding of Isaac, those really big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like that, but a ghost. Then, last but not least, we have Yoshi's New Island. But nothing very fun. They appear in the game. Nothing has changed about them. Just your standard, typical old Boos. And that's it.
Yeah, Hector looks exactly like Invader Zim. That was Or, you know what he looks like? Freaking, Tim Burton, what's that movie? Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. He does look like that, too.
That's another thing I watched this month, actually, to get in the Halloween mood. That was the first time I've seen that movie.
Really? Gotta get in the Halloween mood by watching a Christmas movie? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Alright, cool. We have the Mario and Luigi games now, and they're not... Boos don't appear in all the games, but we'll start with Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Advance. Boos retain their normal role of being scattered throughout the game, hiding when you look at them, yada yada. They can teleport in this game, which I heard you mention earlier. I think that is interesting, to say the least. Boo can be found working in the mines in this game. Like, the freaking resume this dude has is unbelievable.
It's like
wear
Mario.
hard hats.
He's so versatile.
Yeah, they wear hard hats with flashlights and carry pickaxes. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool, honestly. I've never played through this game. Partners in Time. I have played a little bit of this one on the DS. There's not a lot to mention here. They appear in various places throughout the game. Dark Boos from the Thousand Year Door do make a return from this title.
Oh.
And then Bowser's Inside Story, also on the DS. Quite possibly the most important thing you'll learn today is a Boo and a Koopa Troopa are seen dating in this game. Alright, like straight up in love.
Oh, good for them.
Good for them. And like the wiki has no chill. They're like, an odd thing to be seen in this game is, and I'm like, what? Other than that, they have a somewhat important role in the story. They're brainwashed by the main antagonist of the game, and they appear throughout the game doing their usual Boo things.
Being all shy and then all angry. Exactly.
Other than that, there are a few more Mario titles that we are going to mention here. I think we can just... I don't have them in chronological order. I think we can just take turns going through them. Does that sound good?
Yep, perfect.
I'll kick us off with Mario's Picross on the Game Boy, 1995. There's a level where the solution of the puzzle is shaped as Boo, and they call him Boo Diddley, just like in Mario 3. And I think that's probably the last time he was mentioned as Boo Diddley.
Yep. And
nope,
there's one more.
Oh, we're going to get to it?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. This is like 7 years after Mario 3, which I find very interesting that they're still calling him Boo Diddley there.
Boo Diddley.
Actually, I'm wondering if that's right. 1995? Yeah, that's probably right. Anyways, I was looking this game up because I was like, I feel like I've never seen a Mario's Picross. Did it even come out in North America? This game is like expensive as all heck. Oh my gosh, it is not a common Game Boy game. I had no idea.
Really? I didn't either. All
what
right,
do you got?
my turn?
Yeah.
So my first one is Hotel Mario. Boos appear in this game as Boo Buddies. There are two types of Boos in this game. One is the traditional one that hides its face. They wander in diagonal patterns. The other is normally transparent and wanders in a similar pattern no matter where Mario looks, but they occasionally become fully visible and quickly charge at him. And that's it.
Boo buddies.
Boo buddies.
Mario Pinball Land on the Game Boy Advance. There are several boos that you can hit in Mario Pinball Land, and even a big boo, which is a boss in the game.
Is that it?
That is it. It's just pinball.
Okay, nice. So the next one is Mario Clash. Boos make a brief cameo in one picture in the early Picross stage in level 6C. They also appear under the name as Boo Diddley.
Hey! What year is that? We have it over here.
1995.
Wow. So they took a 7-year gap, didn't call him Boo Diddley for a hot minute, and then all of a sudden...
Boo Diddley,
That's interesting. Alright, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Game Boy Advance. There is only one Boo in this entire series, and it is in the first game. And it's nothing special. It literally does what all Boos do in every game. However, something unrelated to Boo, I had no idea that this game is not about controlling miniature Mario figures and taking down miniature Donkey Kong. That is only the DS titles. This game is actually like a sequel to the Game Boy Donkey Kong. You probably haven't played that game, but you are literally it's like a Mario platformer in a sense, but it's like a total puzzle game, and I had no idea that this game was not like the DS games. So, fun fact for you.
Next I have Mario Family. It is one of those Game Boy Color games. I don't know if you consider it a game. Released only in Japan, that was compatible with the Jaguar JN100 sewing machine.
Heck yeah.
Don't want to talk about too much because we might make a future episode on Nintendo peripherals at some point. But anyway, Boo is one of the patterns in the game. Well, it's a cartridge that fits in your Game Boy Color. I don't know if it's a game. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
Application, software. But anyway, he's one of the patterns in the software that can be sent to the sewing machine, which is hooked up to the Game Boy Color and can be copied onto any fabric. The colors on the patterns can be changed to, whatever the player wants. You can make a green Boo with a purple mouth, or a purple Boo, or a yellow Boo, or whatever color they wanted, which is super cool. And that's it.
Woo! Alright. We have Super Princess Peach, a game I really need to buy and play. But Boos, Big Boos, and Mad Boos appear throughout the game doing the normal Boo thing. However, I will say, Mad Boos do the opposite of what regular Boos do. They hide when they're not being looked at and attack when Peach makes eye contact. Now, if you remember, I said the same thing in Luigi's Mansion, but they weren't called Mad Boos in Luigi's Mansion. It makes you wonder if the Mad Boos are in Luigi's Mansion. Which makes you wonder if Super Princess Peach is somehow related to Luigi's Mansion. I don't know. Conspiracy.
Ooh. Well, I could see them acting in the same universe. The universe where Mario was captured or Mario died. Wah wah.
Dang. King Boo is in the game as a boss too, so that kind of adds to the conspiracy.
Huh.
He shoots fireballs, a new trick that he must have learned after Mario Sunshine. I don't know where it must have been from all the spicy food.
Oh my gosh, there you go.
Light hurts him in this game. I don't know why there's no consistency with the light throughout all of the stuff we're talking about. Like Mario Galaxy, it was a thing, but sometimes Boos are cool with light, sometimes they aren't. Major plot hole here. And then a new species, the Big Mad Boos, appear in Super
not
Princess
Big
Peach.
Mad. He's Big Mad.
What do you got for us?
Okay, next is Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. So both regular Boos and Big Boos appear in this game. They try and make Mario miss a step, and if they succeed, they end up blocking Mario's next move. So as you miss steps, because the little Boos, when you're playing Dance Dance Revolution, the arrows show up, and that's what you're supposed to coordinate your steps to. Obviously, I don't know why I'm explaining that. Everyone knows that. Anyway, Boos sometimes appear as the arrows instead, and that they can block his next move. If they do, Big Boo is kind of like a challenge, or like kind of like a mini boss or whatever you want to say. You dance against him, right? And as you miss steps, he gets further and further up the screen, which blocks your view of the moves. And that's
that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool way to integrate him into the game.
Yeah, definitely. Super Smash Brothers, not much to say here. They typically appear as trophies you can collect, or they're in the background of Boo-themed stages. Surprisingly, they weren't ever made into an assist trophy. I think that's kind of weird. Perfect, like, I don't know what they could do anything. They could possess your character, make you like move different directions. They could freaking cover the
Steal
screen
your
with
item.
a horde of yeah.
Huh. Not really creative there, Sakurai. Alright, my turn?
Yep.
Okay, bro, I gotta tell you, when I was writing these notes for the Mario and Sonic games, I was just, like, so over it. There's so many, like, little tiny appearances. I'm like, is it really worth writing down?
No,
but
it's
alas,
not.
I did. I did. Because I like learning and I like teaching. So, first one is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Boos can be spotted in various ways in Mario and Sonic. They appear in the crowd among other species. Go figure. A boo will also appear to penalize a player if they perform 2 consecutive fouls in the 100-meter event in the DS version.
That is such a tiny detail.
Hey, man, the wiki knows it all.
Yep.
They appear as an item in Dream Race, where they follow a player for a short amount of time and cause them to lose speed and remain at a low speed, which is kind of similar to what they do in Mario Kart, which I thought was interesting. Do you want to just power through all these Mario and Sonic ones?
Whatever you want to tell the people, go for it.
Okay, next. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. Boo's role in this game is very similar to the Mario Kart series. Boos appear in a few modes in the game, but his main role is to steal an item from a player and thwart whatever trick gauge or other, collectible they're getting, make you lose coins or make you lose speed or power or whatever. King Boo also appears as a rival. Next, there's so many in this one I almost quit. Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games. Boos appear in the London Party mode of the Wii version of Mario and Sonic at the London Olympic Games. The player must speak to them in order to play minigames and earn stickers. Yay! A jersey with Boo on it can also be unlocked and worn by a Mii. And in the 3DS version, a Boo is actually part of the story, so he gets more of a role here. The Boos tried to scare people away from the Tower of London in story mode. Boo and King Boo act kind of like a boss in the game as Sonic and Tails challenge them to an Olympic event, and the Boos flee when they lose. And next, Boo also appears in a game called Mario's Defeat? ? Where Bowser and Boo pull some shenanigans and transform a Goomba into Mario to thwart the games, to throw the Olympic Games. A badge of Boo could also be attained from the badge machine. Next, and finally, the last one of the Mario and Sonic series is Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Boos don't have quite a big role in the Rio Games. They pretty much just act as targets in a game called Archery Plus. The player shoots at the targets they're holding, and they disappear once they've been shot. I know, right? They're like, let's just totally nerf these Boos and just have them hold the targets. You're just basically hitting them with whatever, archery, arrows, want. And that's it. Oh, thank the Lord. Next.
I got 2 more real quick just to throw in. Super Mario Maker 1 and 2. What do you think Boos do in those games? They are obviously things that you can throw in to your levels that you create. Shocker. And then, hey, Super Mario Run. They're just Boos. They do what Boos do. That's it. That's it for me. Do you have any others?
I have 3 more, actually. And also, fun fact, I said that the stretchers, or the stretches Boos, they also appear in Mario Maker. The ones that are like the platforms. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Next, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Boo is back in the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker series, which includes both the 3DS versions and the Switch ports. Boos function much like they do in the Super Mario 3D World. Boos can now be destroyed by Toad and Toadette's headlamps, so again, they're sensitive to light. And interacting with Boos on the touchscreen or with the pointer functionality on the Switch version will cause them to disappear until the player points away, which I thought was really fun. Next, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle on the Switch. Boos appear as obstacles in certain areas of Mario and Rabbids. They warp to certain areas during the turn transition between heroes and enemies, which is your team and the other team. If a Boo converges on a character, it will follow that character and force them to warp to a random spot on the battlefield. Also like the integrations, very cool. One of the Mario Rabbids has a melee weapon designed based on a Boo. I know you love the Mario Rabbids series, so this must be like super fun for you.
You know what I was just thinking? We probably missed Boo references in the newest Mario and Rabbids game that just came out this month.
Oh, that released this month?
I think it was this month. I think it's out now. I could be wrong.
Oh, shoot. Well, dang it, they didn't update the wiki. How are we supposed to know? Also, in a level called Spooky Trails, several Boos can be found bound in chains along with Boo balloons. Those are the ones that are attached to the string, I think. And they have combined with a Rabbid and a phonograph to become an enemy called a Phantom. If you're wondering what that looks like, it's a giant chunky rabbit, or Rabbid, with a phonograph in its belly. It's just as random and weird as it seems, trust me. The next one and the last one, R.I.P. Dr. Mario World. The Boo Assistant was added on October 30th of 2019. Its effect in a stage is to fill the skill meter faster with when yellow viruses are eliminated. Boo was also added as a doctor under the name Dr. Boo. And in a stage, he immediately eliminates objects in a random 2x2 area. R.I.P.
Rest in peace, dude. What a great game.
Agreed. I played that game way too often. RIP. And that is it for the other Mario series.
Yeah, pretty depressed about Dr. Mario World.
Wah, wah. Oh, well.
What the heck else do we have? Oh my gosh, that's it, Hannah. Oh no. We have
Wah, wah.
miscellaneous we have miscellaneous franchises here, things that you would not expect Boo to appear in. I think you took this section, so have at it, pal.
Okay, miscellaneous franchises. So the first, and I think the coolest of the bunch, is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Far and away the coolest of the bunch.
I agree. I mean, there's so many cameos in Link's Awakening, it's not even funny. There's even Goombas in that game. Goombas! Kirby's in that game.
There's a lot of Goombas.
Lots of Goombas. So, the Boos in this game appear in a dark room in the second dungeon of the game called Bottle Grotto. You just played this game. Well, actually, you played the Game Boy version. This is the Switch version.
Oh, okay.
So, never mind. Unlike in Mario games, though, they chase Link regardless of whether he is facing them or not. So they got over their shyness, and they just want to eat you, regardless. If Link swings his sword at them, they will disappear and reappear at a different location in the room. They can only be defeated after Link lights up the room with magic powder. So again, sensitive to light.
Son of a gun.
In the remake of the game on the Switch, they actually included Boo's voice clips from the Mario games, so he makes his signature cackle.
Heck yeah. Cackle it up.
Cackle! Boo can also be collected from a minigame and used as decoration in a character's house. A Boo figure, I guess I should say. Next, I don't even know why this is counted, but it is. Excite Bike Boon Boon Mario Battle. Various Boos can be seen in the audience. The bonus game in this game involves players performing jump stunts over the Boos.
You don't know why this is counted?
I mean, I guess I know why it's counted. I just read the first line. They just appear in the audience. Sick. Next, Game & Watch Gallery 2. Not 1, just 2. And not 3, but 4. Anyway, Boos are referred to as Boo Buddies in this game. They appear in the modern version of Vermin. The modern version of Vermin actually is like a jillion% better than the original one. The original one is literally just Mr. Game & Watch with some hammers who tries to whack moles as they come out. That's a classic version. The modern version of the game is pretty vibrant, really pretty colors and really detailed looking sprites. In this version, Yoshi is the character you're controlling instead of Mr. Game & Watch, and he's guarding 6 Yoshi eggs from enemies including paratroopers, Fly Guys, and, of course, the Boo Buddies. If Yoshi looks in the general direction of the Boos, they refuse to move. When Yoshi looks away, they move towards the eggs. They only appear in groups of 1 or 2. Next, Game & Watch Gallery 4. Boo makes a bunch of appearances in this, would you call it like a collection?
Yeah, I would.
Of games? Okay, so in this collection, Boos appear in Donkey Kong 3, Mario's Cement Factory, and Boxing. In Donkey Kong 3, if Mario or Donkey Kong turns his back, the Boo will slowly creep closer to the closest player. If the Boo gets close enough, it will either scare Donkey Kong and award the player with points, or scare Mario and give the player a miss. In Mario's Cement Factory, which I had no idea that was the thing, a Boo will fly into the 2 containers on the second floor, clogging them up. The player does not receive any points for removing said Boo. In Boxing, one of the opponents that Luigi faces is Big Boo, who uses a regular Boo as a boxing glove. Also,
demoted.
that it's worth... Yeah. I also thought it was worth mentioning that they really had a missed opportunity not to use a frickin' bruiser in this context. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he
He's
existed
already got
yet.
boxing gloves. Oh, that's true.
Well, no, in the opposite direction, they could have made Bruiser hold a freaking Boo as a boxing glove.
Oh, you're right. Dang, they really messed up with that one. Next is Yakuman DS, and if you're like, what the heck is that? It's a Japanese-only DS game, so don't be worried that you didn't know what it was. I actually thought it was going to be like some fun like platforming game or something, but nope, it's just a Japanese variant of Mahjong. And Boo is one of the many opponents in the game, so you're literally you're trying to beat Boo at Mahjong. So he also does that on the weekend at his retirement community. Tetris DS is the next one. Boos are used in this game as items, can only be used in multiplayer, and when used, Boos are able to block the opponent's side of the sight of the upcoming block, which can really mess you up in Tetris. You really need to see that extra block. So it's a good sabotage. The next one is, you wrote this one down, and I couldn't find that much about it, but it's in Fortune Street. It's mentioned on the wiki of Fortune Street that Boo is a non-playable character, but it doesn't say, like, what he does. So I assume Fortune Street is it's a Mario and Dragon Quest collaboration party game by Square Enix. It's very much like a Monopoly or a Mario Party game, so I assume he functions very similar to what he does in Mario Party. Steals an item or steals coins or something like that. Then, last but not least, is Minecraft. So in this Super Mario mashup that they did with Minecraft, like the collaboration, Boos replaced the ghasts, I think that's what they're called, which are the giant, creepy, white, squid-looking things that shoot fire at you in the nether.
Dang.
And that is it. That concludes Boos. Well, I hope so. I hope we got all of them. Boos cameos in games.
Yep, and we would like to note that there was no Fortune Street on the wiki that we were looking at, so somebody needs to go in there and make that edit.
That's true. Someone should be fired. How dare they not get that one?
So that's it for Boo. There's also a lot of, like, I guess there's non-video game Mario stuff out there. There's like a Monopoly freaking Boo. I'm sorry, a Monopoly Gamer Edition that has like a bunch of Nintendo characters. There's not comic books. There's manga. Well, there's probably comic books too. There's real books. There is lots of stuff out there. TV shows, and Boo definitely appears in those, though we did not cover that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We are right at the 2-hour mark. I think that we have a pretty solid Halloween special here, but y'all let us know what you think.
Agreed. I definitely learned a whole lot. I did not realize when I suggested this episode how many games Boo was actually in.
All the games.
Dude's everywhere. Or girl, dudette, she's everywhere.
The Mario Wiki says the latest appearance of Boo was on the Game & Watch The Legend of Zelda from 2021.
Dang it, we missed it.
I don't really know what that means. I guess I don't have that Game & Watch, but I don't know.
I assume it's just in one of the like the same gallery games that he's in before. But I could be wrong.
He's also in Mario Party Superstars, which is the latest, which also says latest appearance on the wiki, but yeah.
Well, we got 99.9% of them.
Well, I mean, we mentioned Mario Party in general, but yeah. I was just saying, yeah. So, I don't know. Was Boo in the trailer for the Mario movie?
Oh.
Or the
no,
poster?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. He certainly wasn't voice acted by some A-list celebrity. So, I don't... who knows if he'll make an appearance.
I think it would be a crime if we didn't see Boo. I bet we will.
Yeah. He probably is not going to say anything, though. Or he's going to have, like, a really deep voice. Or something as a punchline, you know?
Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, happy Halloween once again. Make sure to go join the Discord. Make sure to leave a like, comment, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much for listening for our 2-hour Boo talk here.
Boo!
Anything you want to say, Hannah?
Nope, just thanks for listening, and we will catch you next month.
Right after we tell you where to follow us at. Hannah, where can the people find you?
Game Girl Advance SP on Instagram.
I am at Bird Dog Gaming everywhere on the internet. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in November is the next month. November.
Woohoo! See ya.